Good morning. Today is Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Show day for Wizard 26. All right, let's go. Well, as far as official setups, let's stick with this KGC. Any additional weakness here will likely take it off. We do have a new one tonight. Do, of course, make sure you wait for entries. I had a very liberal entry on this one. Market's questionable, as you likely know, so waiting for entries in and of itself could often keep you out of trouble. Trigger and ALT, a little bit of a move in our favor, so we're going to go ahead and bump the stop on that one. Obviously, KGS stopping out, a bit of a bummer there. So there's a KGS, obviously, again, a bit of a bummer. ALT triggering, and a little bit of a move in our favor. This one looks like it has potential, obviously, longer term. As far as new setups, I do like this BB. Nice accelerated uptrend, nice knockout type of move within a TKO. Pretty volatile, though. Look at that 86 for the HV. But look at the volume, just ridiculous amount of volume. 66 million shares and change today. There's a few other volatile ones in here, such as GRAL and quite a few others setting up. But for now, let's think of the KGS, which is getting a little unorthodox. I realize I did pull back to this prior little breakout in here. It is a gold, though, and usually with gold stocks, I tend to be a little bit more lenient. Other commodity-related areas, such as the energy, same sort of action happening there too. Meta's pulling back in here, and a couple of other big names are setting up, such as Netflix, which I think I had in here at least earlier before I pulled it out. But anyway, you get the idea. Some of these big stocks are setting up. Unfortunately, some of them have come back in quite a bit. In fact, let's take a look at the major bigs and some sector action and indices while we're at it. S&P 500 sold off fairly hard. It did recover to close off its worst levels, but still down 0.5% nonetheless, so that's nothing to sneeze at. But you can see moving averages are coming together fairly quickly, as will happen when the market drops below them, especially the exponential ones, which catch up a little quicker. But now the simples catch it up fairly quick too. We're well below the 50 simple with 1 bar of Landry light. So far, though, we're stuck in this range. I wouldn't get too excited just yet, but obviously we need to pay attention to the situation. My hope, and I know I just said hope, but my hope is that this is a bit of a shakeout move to people who bought in late in the rally due to FOMO. And once it gets shaken out, maybe it'll clear the way. But for now, let's just pay attention to what's happening. Technically, we're down towards the bottom of the range in the NASDAQ. The moving averages are coming together. We could get a bow tie to the downside fairly soon. In fact, we're almost there. No, my bad. The 10 is going to have to cross over these other two. But the 20 looks like it's crossing the 30 as I'm speaking here. Let's take a look at the Rusty. Rusty off its worst level, still down a little nonetheless. As you can see, bow tie moving averages are in downtrend proper order. 10 less than 20, less than 30. And we did probe multi-month lows. So Rusty still looks really ugly. A lot of areas, as I've been saying, quite a bit that recently broke out have come all the way back out to the come back down to the breakout levels. And that's not a good thing. In some areas, like internet, you can see have come below the breakout levels and then some, actually nearing these multi-month lows. So that's not a good thing. No place to run, no place to hide. Well, for the most part. Bonds were up today, but Bitcoin breaking down fairly hard in here. So we'll keep an eye on this situation. I think this is the case where you might have some people who bought late in the game and they're getting squeezed out, and then you probably had some early adopters who are selling into the strength around that 100K level or so. But no need to think about it too much. It's just has rolled over, and now we have bow tie moving averages in downtrend proper order there, obviously. Gold and commodity selling fairly hard. Looks pretty good, though, off its worst level. Just a bit of a TKO-ish type of move. Gold stocks also selling off fairly hard, but well off of their worst levels. Broker-dealer, this is kind of a reoccurring theme. I don't want to beat the dead horse too much, but you can see a lot of these areas recently broke out to all-time highs and then came right back in. As I often preach, a lot of times the double top either does this, it takes out the prior peak, and everybody thinks it's the all clear, and then comes back in, or people try to front run it, thinking that it's going to take out the prior peak, and then it doesn't happen. It stalls short of it and rolls back over, like software has done it here. A few areas looking okay longer term. Medical devices just off of all-time highs, but back to the downside. Defense and plenty of other areas bumped up against their prior highs. Jets, which has been fairly strong now, bow tying to the downside. So we could see a plethora of sell signals fairly soon. Now, one thing I did want to point out, because you're like, well, Dave, why you recommended longs? Well, the gold stocks could trade independently of the overall market, and speculative stocks, a high HV stock, sometimes could do well in spite of the overall market. They're high beta, and they don't necessarily conform exactly to the overall market. But anyway, mags you can see break it down with a little bit of vigor. Pharmaceuticals, though, one area that is trying to bottom, or has bottomed out, I should say. Nice little rally there. Continues. Cloud computing back to the downside. Again, another area stalling at its prior peak in here. A little bit of a bounce in some of these areas, and we should start seeing quite a bit of shorts. Semiconductors, really bit of a bummer. Like I said, we filled that gap, but then we came right back in. So that is certainly not a good thing. Social media kind of hanging in there so far, just pulling back. Bonds, as I alluded to a second ago, decent day there. Good to see a bit of a flight to safety somewhere within the overall market. Telecom, another one of those areas, this one looks okay still, but you can see it did get past the prior peak in here and then come back in. Take a look at the consumer discretionary. He tried to say, you can see beginning to break down. And then let me just punch it up. The foods have been, well, not basis this, but the foods basis the MG groups. Oh, there it is. Right here. Look like they're trying to bottom out in here. So defensive areas bottom out a little bit. It's not enough for me to get excited about a new bull leg at this juncture. But team, one day at a time. Let's see it all shake out. It's not the end of the world just yet, but additional weakness obviously would be of concern. Sorry I went long. We just had a lot I wanted to cover tonight. Everybody have a fantastic night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you so much.